In 6, it says a student places a mixture of plastic beads consisting of polypropylene and polyvinyl chloride in a 1-liter beaker containing distilled water. After stirring the contents of the beaker vigorously, the student observes that the beads of one type of plastic sink to the bottom of the beaker and the beads of the other type float to the top. The chemical structures are represented below. Given that the spacing between the polymer chains in PP and PVC is similar, the beads that sink are made of which polymer? And explain. Well, since the spacing is similar, meaning the volume is similar, the one that would sink would be the one that's heavier. So since PVC has a greater mass because it has Cl versus CH3, then it's going to be the one that sinks. So you get 1 point for the correct polymer with the correct explanation. Okay. B. PP is synthesized from propene and PVC is synthesized from vinyl chloride. The structures are shown below. The boiling point of liquid propene is lower than the boiling point of liquid vinyl chloride. Account for this difference in terms of types and strengths of intermolecular forces present in each liquid. Okay, so both of there are a couple things you can say. If you think propene is polar, then you can say both of them have dipole-dipole attractions and London dispersion forces. However, since propene has a CH3 group while vinyl chloride has a Cl, since Cl has more electrons, that means that the vinyl chloride is going to be more polarizable, and therefore the intermolecular attraction is going to be stronger. Or if you said that propene was nonpolar, then it only has London dispersion forces, while the vinyl chloride has London dispersion forces and dipole-dipole forces. Therefore, it's going to have a higher boiling point because it has dipole-dipole forces, which are stronger. Okay, so you can either compare London dispersion forces for both of them and talk about your polarizability, or you can talk about the fact that one has dipole-dipole while the other one does not, depending on what you wrote. So you get 1 point for talking about their intermolecular forces and comparing the strengths to talk about the boiling point. In a separate experiment, the student measures the enthalpies of combustion of propene and vinyl chloride. The student determines that the combustion of 2 moles of vinyl chloride releases 2,300 kilojoules. So there's your reaction there, showing those 2,300 kilojoules being released for 2 moles of vinyl chloride reacting. Using the table of standard enthalpies, a formation below, determine whether the combustion of 2 moles of propene releases more or less or the same amount of energy as 2 moles of vinyl chloride. So it gives me my reaction for 2 moles of the propene reacting. So I'm going to take products minus reactants. So 6 times carbon dioxide, which is negative 394, plus 6 times negative 242, which is water, minus 2 times the enthalpy of formation of C3H6, which is 21. Remember, oxygen is 0, and so you should get negative 3,858. That releases more, that's more than what the vinyl chloride released. Therefore, it releases more energy. So you get 1 point for the correct calculation and 1 point for comparing the value you got in C with the value that they gave you, which is the negative 2,300.